Awesome. So I'm going to leave it like that. You know. Oh, hit record when
Yep, let's head start.
I'm going to write that prompt on the board.
Okay.
I've got
Roberta doesn't come in.
Say that again?
Roberta,
What about her?
she doesn't come in here, does she?
No,
I
no.
didn't think so.
She works for the college, but she doesn't work for free.
Right, okay. I know she came in during the push, so I didn't know if she ever stopped in, like.
Any people in the student support services will often drop in and out of trio and help us out with stuff. We help them out with stuff.
So I thought she must have been a part of trio.
Nope, she's a student navigator.
Okay. I thought like she was a past
She
trio.
oversees, she's a student navigator for the mental health program, the sustainable construction program, and medical assistant.
Okay. Yeah, because I stayed in
All coming back
contact.
to me.
I just didn't want to send her an email if she stopped in ever. I don't know why I thought she did.
Yeah, I actually am going to meet with her on Tuesday to just review who's of her students are participating, and you'll be on the list.
Okay. I'm trying to get used to all this online class.
Yep.
I do the mental health seminar, and I'm a little nervous so that I'm not doing it right, so I like to check in with her.
Yep. There's no harm in that, Casey. No harm in doing that.
No, I need to make sure that I'm doing it good and correctly.
Yep.
I think I might need a little help with like the APA writing stuff.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
For the
Formatting.
research.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah.
What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, are we ready? We're ready.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Yeah.
All right, we have to snap, clap, and wave. We have to snap, clap, and wave. Then we'll just introduce ourselves. Everyone here has been here, right? We have.
I think we have one.
Yeah, one.
Awesome. We'll do this. We'll go around, introduce ourselves, and just what our program is as well. And then answering the question again: what are you most proud of? Week 3, the week 3 edition. What are you most proud of this week? But we got to do it right. We got to show our new guy. Can you remind me of your name?
Christy.
Christy. We're going to do something that this is the way we start class. Some people have, when they tell their parents about it, or tell other people in their lives, they think it's a cult. It is not a cult. This is how we start today. So do we have a table that's willing to start the wave? So we're going to do, we wave first, we do the wave.
I can try to.
You
All right.
will? All right.
I'll try to.
So we'll go this way, kind of weave our way going in,
Yeah.
and bring it all the way back to Flavia.
Okay.
All right, Casey, you lead it up, and we'll go to you, Joy. So waving it that way. Joy, go. I just went, woo! Snap. Do the blows. And then the hats. Yeah. There was another one that came up. Do the hokey pokey.
Gotta turn around.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So that's how we start every class, just to kind of get us
Get the
here,
juices flowing.
from transition from home to here.
Yeah.
What was that?
I said she thinks we're crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Don't use that. Stay with us. Cool. So good morning. Welcome. Week 3 is in the books, and we're all still standing for the most part.
Yeah.
No, nobody. Yeah. We're happy you're here. So if we can go around, Casey, would you start going around and start our introductions as well?
Yeah.
Cool. So just your name, your major, and what you're most proud of this week.
I am Casey. I'm in the mental health program, and I am proud that I had the courage to withdraw from a class.
Very cool.
I'm Carmen, my major is mental health, and I'm most proud of that I'm still here.
So, keep coming back.
Christy here. I'm in the mental health program, and I'm proud that Wendy doesn't kill me.
All right, you want to do the iPad?
Oh, it's a terrible iPad.
Naughty iPad.
Naughty iPad. You're becoming friends.
It would be funner if I could use the drawing app instead.
Ooh, all right, yeah, maybe you can ask Wendy.
Draw everything.
Yeah.
I need the $100 pencil.
Ah.
For like 3 days before I use it.
Well, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're
I'm Erin, I'm in the Development program, and I'm most proud that I made it through my first quiz and then completely wrong.
All right.
here. For which class?
Lots of terms and definitions.
Enjoy it, yes. It's a lot harder.
Sorry, Joy Lee.
We were gushing over the
No, I'm Charlie Gushy. I'm from Union. I'm in Sustainable Ag. I guess the most proud thing this week, I made it through. Got my mother on the right track to eating right again, finally.
Yay!
I'm Anthony Mitchell. I'm in the radiology program and from Jay, and I'm proud that I'm going to be a tutor for AMP1. And if Judy has her way too, also, we've gone into.
So you can ask to of course you can
All right.
as well. Cool.
I'm Hester, and I'm from Oakland, and I guess I'm proud. I've told a couple people so far that I made a Wicked Hollandaise the other day, and it came out perfect the first time.
Wow, that's awesome.
Can you tell us what that is?
Yes, the hollandaise is a mixture of clarified butter, and you make an emulsion with all kinds of things, and it's a sauce that goes over your eggs Benedict, and it's really good.
It's pretty neat.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So now you said that.
I'm
we're going to
salivating.
be expecting the next trio of
So Hester will feed us breakfast.
Yeah.
You gotta save it because it only lasts a few hours, so we had to pitch it.
All right.
Terrible.
And I love that you're using the lingo. It's very cool.
Hi, my name is Shay, and I'm most proud of my brother's leaving for the National Guard. This is my last weekend with him, so I'm proud of him.
Where is he heading to?
He is heading to see him for next week.
I hope you enjoy this.
I'm Melissa, Health Information Management Program, and what I'm most proud of this week is just completing the week, getting through it, going to all my classes, getting my homework done.
Yay!
Hi, my name is Sandy, and I'm in the Early Childhood Education Program, and I'm just happy to have made it through this week. Hi, my name's Annette. I am in the Medical System Program, and I am most proud that I passed my first math quiz, and I'm doing pretty good in it, so good. Thanks, too.
Which math class?
L13.
And Annie?
Annie, yeah, Annie's not here, but she will pick on her. Well,
I'm Annie, I'm in the early childhood program too. And I'm still here.
Yes, you are.
yes, you are. On a Friday morning.
Wow, I think she's disappointed she missed the wave.
I mean, I'm always game for it, but. You're still okay? All right. Can you do a mini one?
I should
Yeah,
All right.
I always enjoy the eye roll that
Can we add that? Can we do the Malone? I think that's gotta happen.
Or the shit kick under the face.
Yeah, or suggesting it, absolutely. Thanks a lot. Well, I think I will put in for it to be added. Unanimous vote. Are we introducing as well?
Sure.
Awesome. I'm Nick Brunko. I'm a learning specialist for their TRIO program. And I support students as they navigate and wrestle with iPads and technology and just in general overall. I think what I'm most proud of is just in working with students. This week, a number of students have come back and said, oh, because starting to take tests and starting to get grades, and it's getting real. And, kind of that communication. I love students showing up at the door. And whether it's good, bad, and different, they're there showing up and wanting to learn from these things. So I always get fired up about students coming back and saying, all right, I took this, I got a 96, and we can high five, or I got a 78, but I learned this and that. So that's very cool. That's what I'm proud of.
I'm Melandy Wright. I'm the Math and Science Learning Specialist with the TRIO program. Yeah, what am I most proud of this week? I'm always proud of you all, so I don't want to say the same thing every time. All right, what am I proud of me? Well, I've managed to I've managed to get everything done this week that I meant to get done this week, which is huge because my plate was overflowing this week with crumbs falling off everywhere. But I did manage to get everything done that I meant to get done. So I am proud of myself for that.
Good morning, all. I'm Michelle Bardsley, first year or intake coordinator. I answer to many different titles. Like Landy, I don't want to say, again, very proud of all of the new folks that I've met and the continuing students that are attending. This week, personally, what I'm most proud of is that we had an audit that occurred yesterday, and I'm very proud that we passed with flying colors. So,
Yeah.
feel very good about that.
Hello, my name is Flavia Oliveira. I am a student here at KVCC. I'm taking Social 206, so I'm assisting with this class. And what I'm most proud of this week is that me and my kids, we were at the bus stop on time. We usually have a hard time with time management and getting to the bus on time, but this whole week we did it on time, and I'm really proud of us for that.
Ooh. Wow.
We're doing it.
That's huge.
Get done.
Keep the streak alive. That's good. That's good. Cool. Welcome. Joan, can you introduce yourselves? We have a new person.
I'm Joan Goodrow, and I live in Wilton, and I am taking the culinary arts program here. And TRIO has been enormously helpful my first couple of weeks, and I'm feeling a little bit more organized. The exercises you're giving us are awesome, so it's a great group to be in. So, welcome.
And Joan, what are you most proud of for this week?
I think just getting more organized and realizing where the resources are, when they're there, and all that stuff. It's just putting everything together, finally.
So it's starting to come together.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Ethan,
Ethan?
will you introduce yourself? We have a new person.
Yeah, my name's Ethan Carmichael, and that's it.
What are you most proud of? What's your program? What are you most proud of?
On business, and I don't know.
Intractable.
Terrible.
That might not be.
Fun, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So, and you're here.
Yeah.
You're here.
And no soda explosion.
And no sort of. I was waiting. It wouldn't be the first time. That could be a commercial right there. I'm ready for that. Beautiful. Welcome. Hurrah.
I would like to just say, Lisa had to attend a morning meeting, but she intends to join us as soon as she can.
Yes.
Do any of you guys work with the APA writing staff?
It's Lisa.
Lisa
It is?
is
Okay,
the
that's what I
English
thought.
major of the group.
Okay.
Yes.
That's my only question.
I can muddle my way through in a pinch, but
And here he is, welcome.
good morning. Come on in.
All right.
We were just finishing up introductions for those new folks that have joined us. You willing to?
Can you introduce yourself?
Introduce myself?
Name, program, and what you're most proud of.
Alright.
We just want to keep it to go ahead.
I'm Kyle Patton. I'm taking electrical technology program here at KVCC. And it's nice meeting you all.
See what happens when you come in late?
Definitely being put on the spot.
Yeah, no. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. I'm going to turn it over to Flavia.
Okay.
She's going to touch on the homework from last week, time management, etc. Do you want me to cue up your video?
I think we're gonna go over the homework and then I'll kind of go right into it. Alrighty. So what I wanted, so the agenda is to kind of talk a little bit of the homework that we had last week, the paper, putting in the schedule down on the paper, and the schedule on Outlook. And we just wanted to hear some of the challenges, some of the feedback from the homework from last week. If anybody had a challenge with it, if anybody found something that worked and they want to share it for other people. There you go.
Not all the time I remember to bring my student handbook, so I just put it on the calendar on my phone since my phone was on me. So it's always like a good last resort to have that.
Awesome. And what makes it more efficient? Like, what makes it more efficient with the phone? Do you have like your test? Did you end up? Did you have the opportunity to go in and put your when the assignments are due? Did you get a chance to do that? Okay.
Yeah. Especially on like timely manner. Especially if I'm like working on my time schedule. Especially if you have to student life.
Okay. That's it.
I did run into a problem. When I noted it on the calendar, in the email, it put a line across the calendar with that. So I did something wrong with it. Because I got all these lines on top of the calendar that go all the way across.
Ooh, all right. I have thoughts.
I do too.
Yeah. I kind of want to see it.
He's
What?
changed his view.
What view are you in? Are you in a daily view, weekly view?
It didn't matter which one I switched to. Once I loaded that information, it gave me the finger and said,
Wow.
Recurring appointment. I bet.
Yeah.
And
If it goes all the way across. Did you do reoccurring appointment for every single thing you put in?
yes, I did.
There you
That's
go.
why I don't know.
That's
and
probably-
the
Yeah.
parameters aren't specific enough. So
It's gonna go.
it's going the entire week is my guess. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I put all my classes till December 16th, because
Yep.
that's the last.
Oh, and I think another thing might be if it's going all the way across your week, you didn't specify Monday. Like I just want this reoccurring on Mondays from 10:50 to 11. That might be it too. That you said.
That's exactly what it is, because I didn't do
Yeah.
Yep.
So if we can tweak it. For sure.
Absolutely.
That's-
It's actually a pretty easy fix.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
If
the
you-
minute he said that, I know that's what it is, because I can do
So yeah, it's saying you're going to be in Bio 100 or AMP2
Every day.
every day. I mean, Judy might love that. Tony's devoted to.
This may be part of why she wants you to tutor if you wanted to. You're always there.
Yeah, but I appreciate you sharing that, Tony,
Yeah,
and so that we
absolutely.
can troubleshoot and brainstorm. Absolutely, but we can go in and look at that for sure.
So I didn't do Outlook. I'm in the mental health program, and we have this My Homework app that I've been trying to get used to. But it works the same. I just need to try to get it so it stops giving me a reminder reminders a day.
Be
How
careful
many
what you
you
wish
get?
A
for.
lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Okay.
But I'm getting used to it. But I'm a paper person anyway, so that's my thing. I just do this because it's part of my class, but I'm relying on my schedule booklet.
Yeah, and you like that size planner because it fits
Yeah,
in.
it's perfect for me, and I have a lot of things outside of school, and I can prioritize them all and know exactly when I have to do homework or if I'm able to go come out here to hang out with her to do homework, different stuff, like know where I can put it in my schedule better than just an iPad thing or any internet thing.
Which brings me a question, is like, how many people here went from paper to getting adjusted to doing it on the internet? And how is that challenging? How do you guys find that challenging? Because I'm a paper person too, and I'm starting to get adjusted with Google Docs and all of that. And can you talk a little bit about the challenges of going from paper to internet?
I'm a paper person. I write everything. I color.
Ooh, look at that.
That's what I like is when I went in, I did the color coding in Outlook too. So every day I was like, okay. It took me a little bit to adjust to that. So I'm like, I'm just gonna keep writing stuff down. But it's a reminder, like it shows up every time in that color. So I don't know, it kind of like split it up, which was nice. But I'm still adjusting to doing it online, I guess, because I am a paper person. So I like to write stuff down. So that's been a challenge for me. But I like that it shows over here. So on my phone it'll pop up. And I already know that stuff to do. And it's like, oh, I'm supposed to meet this person at this time. So
It's kind of like a little.
which is nice.
Yeah, I like that part.
Very interesting.
The same way, I do both calendars, and what I like the most about it is like this morning it showed up that entry of this morning.
Yeah.
And all I did was have to open my phone, and I really like that it's showing up. You know, all of my things are showing up. So even though I knew I was here, but it's a nice reminder. Confirmation.
I think I would miss some, like everything that comes up on my Outlook that comes to my phone, a lot of times I don't even see the notifications until like 2 hours later. So for me to rely on my phone would not be good for me. Because I guess I'm one of those people, I don't check it as much as I thought. Because I noticed like I got everything into Outlook, but most of like the stuff that I put in there, my classes, I see the notification like 5 minutes before the class started. I'm like, well, if I was depending on this, this isn't gonna work for me.
Yeah.
And then when I color coded the classes, I realized that didn't work for me either, because I need to be able, it like confused me more than anything. I need one color for just school stuff, one color for personal life stuff. So that way I can just quickly see like what's on my calendar for school, what's on my calendar that has to do with my children, my grand, you know what I mean?
That's what I did too.
And then I also figured out by last week doing the hourly, like I never thought, that's not for me. I liked that.
Ooh.
So I ended up going out and getting a new planner just specifically because this one
We transformed her.
and then it has the to-do list on this side for every day. And this is working much better. I like that. And I never thought I would do an hourly thing. And so I can like do the same thing as like on Outlook. And yellow is my school, anything that's yellow is school.
Yeah.
Anything is personal life is pink.
Awesome.
I think I got something that applies to that. I found a place, like I couldn't be, get an alarm 5 or 10 minutes before, because I live an hour away. So there's a place to set that. I set mine 3 hours ahead, so that I got time to take a shower and get my butt here, if I forgot something.
And you can even set it a day ahead, or maybe some of it might be setting it further ahead.
And even
traveling
traveling
on
time.
silent though. I don't even like, I guess I just don't pay attention to it, is my problem.
Yeah.
Because my phone's always silent, so I get a notification, I don't know it.
And also too, setting up for travel times, they do have travel time there. So if you need travel time to get to a class, there is travel time there to kind of like offset it. I know in my alarm it offsets it that way. Because I was doing the same thing. I was putting in a class for 9:30 and then at 9:30 it tells me about the class. I'm like, okay.
I did set my notifications up like to notify me, depending on what it was, some of them were 2 hours early. My problem is the notification will go off on my phone, but I may not necessarily be looking at my phone at that time to even get the notification, and unless I'm specifically checking for something, I might not look at my phone for 2 hours later and, oh, there's my notification that I got 2 hours ago. So I guess I need to get in the habit of checking it more often maybe.
Could you make
And-
like a louder,
Yeah, you can.
reminder call thing?
No, I purposely
The
put it on
foghorn
silent.
effect.
Like, I don't wanna try to edit
Yeah.
myself at school on the phone.
Yeah, right. But yeah, you can in your settings for those reminders, make them have a specific sound or something
Well,
like
maybe I
that.
should do that. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just don't.
And for the people that are using
Oh,
technology, that how is it like? What is like? What can you teach other people that, like for me, that are still in the book? Like, what is some tips that you can give us about technology? How it works for you? Because I knew you, Shay, you kind of use technology on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Like, how do you incorporate that into your daily life?
It's kind of on force because a lot nowadays everyone is technology, so in the beginning it was a little difficult. So especially with a very simple and old-fashioned family of mine, so I kind of had to adjust my lifestyle, and then I have notifications where it's on school, it's attached to the school email. So in case I don't see my phone, I usually check the school email, so it attaches to my school email for alerts or my personal email. And just gonna have it pretty much to start something new and just how you do it. I'm just gonna start that kickstart and have it.
So it's that consistency of keep trying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Any other feedback about the homework? And did anybody get any aha moments about homework time? Like how much time we actually need to spend on homework, and did anybody get aha moments on homework time?
I did this
Study
sheet.
time.
I did this sheet and realized there wasn't enough hours in the day or the week. I only had 112 hours available and 140 hours I needed to do everything. So that was an eye opener.
Yeah. So did you figure out what are you gonna do about that homework time?
No, not yet.
She came to
Any
class.
suggestions?
Yeah, maybe it's have you blocked in? Have you blocked in some homework time? Have you made appointments for yourself for homework time? Does that sometimes help?
Yes,
You
yes,
did?
I use it. Yep, but I'm finding I need more homework time, maybe less time, I don't know.
Mm.
But I take 8 hours for sleep on the average, but
Any other things on study time? What did you guys find?
Well, Joan and I can contest, we're learning so many French terms in our culinary class that it takes a long time just to look it up and try to figure out what the word means, if you're not used to the words. And that's doubling our time to do homework. It's 3-4 hours of just homework.
Exactly.
For one of our
Sometimes
classes.
I've been doing a lot of the index cards
Mm-hmm.
and using them, and even driving, I'll just have one there and I'll just keep glancing at it, and that one I know that day. The next day I'll take another one, so trying to,
Yeah, and I think later on in the semester we're going to talk about quality homework time. How do we split, like, because there is a difference between spending 4 hours on doing homework and actually having quality homework time where you're spending, they said the brain can only take about 30 to an hour of it at the time, and then you kind of need a break from it and then go back. Because doing the 4 hours, because I did it. I sat there for hours thinking that I was studying and I wasn't getting anything. And then when I would break it down by increments, if I do 30 minutes, take a break, come back, do another 30 minutes, I'm processing a lot more than just sitting there and just looking at the book for hours and hours and hours of time. And that is really helpful when you block in and you make appointments at the tutor and make that your homework time or your study time, and blocking those hours throughout the day so you can have, because I find that if I spend 3 hours in a class, if 3 credits on a class, I have to have the 3 hours out of school to kind of get my homework and kind of get study time for, and get prepared for the next class. Because also too, that homework and study time is about preparing for the next class. And we all know when we leave that element out, we are going to be stressed when we go into class, not knowing the unknown of going into class. And I have a little video to kind of tie in what we did last week and to kind of incorporate what we're going on with time management and everything. I think and that's how I want to stay. Did we talk about that?
Many of us hear about time management. We hear advice like make checklists, keep a schedule, practice good study habits, yada yada yada. Sure, all these suggestions are helpful, but they're just a piece of the time management plan, and they don't fit everyone. Managing time in school will be easier. That sounds good. The reality, it's been easy getting by without a plan. But the further we move in our education, the higher the stakes. We are betting that we can meet our GPA goals without healthy study habits. Classes get harder, and you may find yourself drowning in challenging coursework. And you never bother learning how to swim. How to form good study habits? First, stop comparing yourself to your friends. Think they get good grades without studying? No. You need to find out what works for you. And cramming like a hibernating chipmunk is not the solution. So, where to begin? Know thyself. There is no magic bullet for finding the right routine. The first thing you need to learn is how you learn. Prioritization is key, and it's an easy first step. Create a list of activities that occupy your time and rank them from highest to lowest priority. From there, you can begin managing your time. You are responsible for your success in college. Chances are, your friends aren't looking out for your grades. If they want to hang out, you have to decide, do you actually have time or do you have schoolwork? Start now. You may not have a perfect system, and systems can change. That's perfectly fine. The more you learn now about how you learn, the easier things will be. Halfway through a semester and unhappy with your grades? Ouch. That's a tough time to change your game plan. Plan early and spare yourself the grief. We've got good news. All around campus are people who can help you understand how you learn. Literally, there are resources all over campus designed to help you. Office hours provide insight for tackling a class head-on. Learning centers help with all subjects and all course levels. Schedule meeting times with supportive peers. It's a surefire way to ensure accountability.
Very clever.
I like it.
It's the fastest between.
Any questions or any feedback? Anything?
How do you, like, I guess making a list, because the studying time, to block it out, like how?
I'm gonna, by experience for me, I would make an appointment. Make an appointment every single day. It's like a doctor's appointment, like you know, to be accountable for. And then in the beginning, I would pair up with tutoring to just be there, even though you're not gonna, even if you don't take the tutoring, you're scheduled that time to be there. And I find that it's something that you gotta get used to, and it's a routine that you gotta get used to. Since if you don't have it in place right now, you gotta get used to it. Yeah. Yes.
I think the phrase "you can't teach an old dog new tricks," I think I kind of fall into that because for me, we have to have everything typed in class, and for me to retain the information, I have to write it out.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it twice. When I tried just typing it, but I've been typing for 40 years, so I can do 80 words a minute. I'm not retaining it, so I have to do it twice. That's where all my time is going. So I don't know if I can convert to that.
Yeah, Michelle is reminding me. And I think what's really cool is using multiple senses when you're doing these kinds of things. Michelle's bringing up there's software out there where you can speak what you're thinking, or speak even what you're reading from your text, and it will capture it on the screen. And I'd love to show. Maybe we could do a demo at some point as well. It's speech to text, and what's cool is phones have it standard now. Back in the day, it used to be like this magical thing. You go into this room, put on these headphones and things. But now you have text or speech to text on phones. It comes standard on computers. So it's another way, using another sense.
With the phone, I use it, and when I speak into it, I try to be very clear. But I look at it and I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah, right.
So you really have to check your work.
It's not always 1,000% accurate.
Yeah.
It's kind of like those texting fails that you see. You're sending a text to someone through, and it
Right.
autocorrects in a really funky way.
Right.
I'd like to make a comment about that, though. Don't discount and call it old school because you have to write the stuff.
Absolutely.
There have been lots of studies recently about how people learn with the advent of all this technology that we have, and there is a lot of proof that students learn better by writing things by hand than they do by typing. So there's nothing wrong with you.
No,
That doesn't make you a dinosaur
No,
old
it's
school.
not an
It
old school
worked. That
Yeah,
works.
it works.
Yeah.
It works for me too. Yeah.
And yes, it does take time, and that's the thing about college is that it is going to take a lot of your time to study whatever way is most effective for you. And if writing things out over again is effective for you, then take that time and do it. I'm just empowering you.
No,
Yes.
most definitely, yes.
Annie, you had your hand up.
That's what we're going over in English right now, is that technology is really changing how our minds work. It's not memory. And that it's more concrete if you write things down and you actually look at a book versus typing out something or looking on the internet, because that's a really quick flash in your head, but it may not stick long.
Can I draw a picture? Well, I love to draw, not as fast as that guy. But I think a lot of this, with the new research, because they're able to look at neurologically how the brain works and how it all happens, like the electrical workings of it. But literally, when you write down, review, listen, the more time you are engaged with material, it literally creates those pathways stronger and stronger and stronger and faster. The more you use it, the quicker it'll be to recall it. So whether it's through sound and writing and seeing, the more senses you incorporate and the more times you do it, it literally creates these faster pathways to recall that information or to remember I have some work in 3 o'clock. So if you put it on your Outlook calendar and you write it in your Newly planner hour by hour, those are times that you're refreshing that information and making those, literally the firing of those neurons quicker and faster. So
And all about it's learning your. It's also learning your how you learn is your learning style, because not everybody learns the same way. So it's about finding out how do you learn. I think that was for me. It's finding out how I learn. I love colors. I love visual stuff. So I had to go to that. But it's how you learn. It's finding out. I find that coming to college is finding out about myself. What do I like doing and what I don't like doing.
Absolutely.
It's finding out a lot of these things,
Cool.
tweaking it up.
Yeah. And we wanted, this class, we wanted to be a lab to start to discover some of these things. Time management, studying the tests, all of these things. How do you prepare yourself? So this was the time management lab. We're gonna put them to work.
Yes, we are. So for the next part of class, we are going to break you up into groups, and yeah, we are moving you outside your comfort zone. Counting off by 4. Okay, there'll be one person left over. That one person will get to choose which group they want to be in.
Great choice.
So I'm going to start within that, so you can be 1,
2,
3, 4.
1,
2,
1.
2, 4.
1,
2. Jeez. Yep. Carmen? 4. So you get to choose whichever group you want to be in. So if you guys can, so if group 1 can be over here, 2 back there, 3 back there, 4 right here.
Do you need help us on anything?
I'm trying to find a case study. Ah, there it is.
Oh, you got it.
It is. I thought it might be. There we go. Okay.
Two C's, okay.
Oh, did they need this?
Okay, so what we're going to have you do is each group is going to get something happened here. Why are there 2 groups of 5?
Someone disobeyed you.
Several people
We went
disobeyed
rogue.
me.
I love it.
I'm okay. If they want to go with these group, that's all right. I'm not gonna fight it.
You're gonna go
All of a
with
sudden,
the
we're like, wait a
resistance.
minute, this didn't come out right. All right,
I
so.
didn't think that's what she was
Some people want to. Anyhow, so what's gonna happen is each group is gonna get a case study. You're gonna get information about a particular, it's a made-up student, but we kind of made up these case studies based on things that we've actually helped students deal with when they've been starting school. So each group is gonna get a case study, and you're gonna be using tools, your time management tools from last week, plus some resources. We're going to hand you out some information about different resources on campus. You're going to take those things and you're going to try to help this person to manage their time better or do something with their schedule their life in such a way that it's going to improve their situation. Okay? And I'm being purposefully vague because all of the situations are different and are going to require different types of resources and different types of reprioritizing or rearranging of schedules to get everything done. Okay? So Nick's going to hand each group your case study plus the schedule that student made for themselves, supposedly, built for themselves. So Nick is handing those out right now.
Thank you.
So your group is going to read over the case study together. You can take turns reading it to each other or however you want to do it. And then you're going to have about, I can't remember the time I allotted for it. Yeah, you're going to have about 15 minutes to read through that case study and see what you can come up with to help that person. And then you're going to report out to the group.
Yeah, I think it's
Any questions? What? Okay, we're going to come around and hand out the resource information to you guys as well. So you want to start reading your case study.
I think
So. So this is for later. And this, you brought, did you need to discuss that with them?
We wanted to cover it, but we hadn't fully covered it.
Okay, so we'll need to make sure we do that.
Yeah. Sure. I'll take these, Ben.
You know where you're going?
I didn't print out enough for everyone to have a couple copies per team.
Sure.
Don't forget me.
Other kids whose parents are unable to take the youngest child started first grade this year. Now that all the kids are in school, she's decided that she's going to do something she wanted. She's always wished she had done as she was younger. Get her nursing. She is married to Walter and is supportive of her decision to go back to college, but works 50 to 60 hours a week, so he isn't much help at home. Okay, so if you want to base that.
Okay, so okay, Jean has started taking a full-time load of classes in the general science track and nursing program.
I only did this.
101, 502, income, 104.
Did you pass these out yet? No, we're going to do these later.
Did we get everything?
AP program, which allows her to better learn before enrolling in MHT 117 at a later start class. She always did well in high school and is getting good grades is very important to her. Even more so now that she needs to maintain at least a good average.
Oh, sorry.
She wants to make sure that she has as much support as possible, so she has a program early on. Because her middle class and her 50 twice a week, she arranged for her mom to take care of the children after school on those days. Jean is highly organized. She has a weekly schedule on her fridge, with all days. Jean is highly, with all of her commitments and demands. It's a very full schedule, but she feels like she's on top of everything and we can make it work. One day in mid-October, One day in mid-October, as she's driving her son to band practice, she gets into a car accident. Everyone is okay, but the car is in bad shape.
It's indrivable, and the mechanic says it will take up to 2 weeks to fix. The next day, as she frantically calling her classmates to find a ride to school, Jean's dad calls to say that her mom is in the hospital after falling and breaking her hip, which is going to require surgery followed by a long recovery period. Clearly, her mom won't be able to watch her kids in the evening when she's at school late. To make matters worse, Jean is registered to take the MAXRX, the admission test for the nursing program, in 2 weeks. She's planning on going to the PAX review session offered by the college in the evening and asking her mom to watch the kids. And now she won't be able to do that either. Looking at her complete book schedule, Jean is starting to panic. How will she ever meet all of her commitments, do well in her class, and study for and pass her PAX? PAX, sorry. Do you want to reread that?
Yeah, and even if they did like a situation.
So I think the first thing to do is,
You know what I mean? Like, just for,
right.
Yeah, the thing is, we gotta figure out how though, because the morning classes are open, she's like during that time. But since her mom is not, so now she doesn't have that childcare stuff. No, I know, well, I thought we were gonna make a plan.
Yeah, let's, so I what you're thinking is probably what put it all up.
Yeah, because it's like I was talking about.
I didn't mean it like that.
It's just my first thing was, well, she's got an evening class, we gotta get she has classes. How, you know, if she doesn't get that class, if she doesn't have childcare, she don't have to.
So it looks like they're gonna find their way. They need us priority.
So would that just give her more appointments that she can be
In my opinion, make sure they have one more appointment, the outcome may be that, this is what I'm thinking.
This year's down.
This year, right.
It makes my skin hot.
You may not get invited back next year. Oh, well.
She mentioned incarcerated.
I know.
Say Henry, KVCC students in the hallway and ask about.
They're bad people.
Exactly. And that's exactly
If they made the reference to say that he doesn't want to
I saw it.
kind of add,
Does it say what time
you know what I mean?
that test is? Or what time?
No, it's it's from 4:30.
Maybe
They can go hard.
Yes. So that we can make a decision
One like an adjunct.
And I said, well,
Right, you're going in November 17th, she could take it.
I was so tired, I was like, I can tell by her kid like, why would I?
So she could
Okay, so her priorities are vehicle, getting to work, right? Her classes, taking the test, and hopefully she can take the review. And that was mentioned, she had signed up for the review.
And math or science for her?
The RN. Yeah, going through cash review session.
But they have it in math and outside.
Yeah.
And those are 6 to 8 at night.
Yeah, she can't do it because of her mom, she has to find childcare.
Well, that's what she's saying, but it has to be taken, so we can take during the day.
We all. Oh, okay, yes. I know. I'm having a hard time. I'm just really just realized yesterday.
I know.
Yeah.
Tells you this is what you should do.
So I was like,
If somebody else tells you this is the best way, so you can do it. Then you can unlock it, it doesn't have to go back. I mean, I think most of them.
no, I know, and I don't know what's going to happen.
See, I know, some people, I'm not saying this is every week.
It is not.
But say, you suggest, what they're gonna do, it makes it look like the grade was better. But you can't tell them what you want. You can tell them what to do.
We just can't use this, right?
Oh, okay.
I did too. It's kind of like,
How?
Thank you. For writing.
I know Jamie last
I don't know.
You need an
push out.
I think we should.
He's learning to study half the foreign classes.
Now I see.
No problem.
I got excited.
And then
So that means she always has to go there.
Parents can take
it's now he sees it as his time.
So she could do that. She could do that instead of the other nurse. So 9:30.
You're gonna read the eighth day
No. Doesn't say what day.
Well,
She can do.
So she said,
It's not
we also
no,
want.
she did.
So this. That's what I'm
Just making sure everybody signed it. Just to count how many.
So she actually, it's Friday too, except the kids until 11. And then you're passing by like 3/4.
It is first in the job. I'm ready to
That job's done, you go home, that's it.
I have more free time when I work full time.
Yeah, she wants to just get up a little bit on her mat when she starts that class. So she won't be doing her Friday, that's great. What is so the 15th is Friday. But it happened.
That's why you gotta get prep, but I do work. But like, I didn't think she just said not having like.
And it's Friday night, so that's
Anyway.
Their mind is off
I mean, she still does the, she keeps switch up the schedule.
Oh, I know. Yes, I think it would be good for them to.
Okay, so now we're saying, what's the one?
Yeah, exactly. But it makes last.
Oh, you sign.
Yeah. This is what we do. And this is how we do it. Because there are members of the that we have this message that we just want to They really.
So what was that, where was that off?
Am I coming wrong? Don't we have 17?
Where's the actual paper that we're reading out
I don't know. I'll figure it out by the other class.
I'm not sure where I can cross up. To make matters worse, Jean had registered to take the path.
We got all 5 on this thing.
She had been in an interview session with our. She said, I'm gonna join
So now that's it.
Her agent
Last year when I college, I bought my books, I underline everything I was before, and I want to get a test, and I go back and I like rewrite everything that I did. And that really helped.
There's no way she has to wait till the next one. Because she can't go to this one.
I really feel like
That would be nice, but no, I can't. It's very hard to do that. Because she was
We're assuming that we can.
All right.
We're putting, we put the classes on, the stuff that we know she has to go to. We just don't have to get it once a week. The thing that we're hung up on, we're all looking at is this is for this week. Are we doing just this week, or are we gonna try to put in that?
You could make no, you could either do another schedule for 2 weeks from now, or you can just make a note down at the bottom and say, because this might be able to do that kind of thing. Whatever, there's no one right way to do this, okay? You're coming up with your best shot. Yeah. Sure. Yes.
Let's start with.
Exactly, yes, you can do that.
In preparation for any college's best practices, I wanted to share with you.
all that's right.
Oh man, I'm fired up now. I gotta dial it down.
And he is yeah.
So that would be one of your
in 2 weeks, so
Okay, so her dad's gonna give her a ride.
Planning now to implement next year.
If she makes and she can qualify for like what
Okay, so dad's giving her a ride if the car's not fixed, to take the test. And it's called, she is
for her ride class, and she's been
come and say come.
So I don't know, and it
Yeah,
varies
that's
from
okay.
one semester from 1 year to the next. Every year, this is a moving target that we have to put our capes on the spot.
I would just, like, on Monday, what she could do is, break up on homework, like do it until 5, gives the kids supper, and then have them 8 to 9. Because they were just saying it's better to break it up than to.
You could, yeah, so she can make, let's say she make it separate and then 5. And that gives you more time from 5 to 8. I'm not even teasing kids.
Well, we got John and Stan
At 8.
at 6:30 to 7:30. And then kids.
So if you go from then on, what is that schedule and what can she do instead during that time?
I was just thinking maybe she could go to.
To think about that, what other resources can she access during that time? She buys tutoring or she do.
So that her, she coordinates. She does not provide that. And this is part of it. Support services.
You guys are.
So are we gonna, I think all 3 of us are working, like that time and everything else.
President wanting us, and that goes from 9 to 12.
Or 9.
It doesn't.
No, give us your 7 to 12. Okay, so how about we do supper at 5:30 every night? No, we can't every Tuesday. And it's really, well, I think her, and she goes, I don't think she knows.
I know, it's pretty good. We can give them about 3 or 4 more.
Yeah.
Is that the I'm like, oh, yeah, mid-semester.
Yeah, that's happening. It can happen.
Very realistic.
This has been on.
We are.
I will not post that.
You guys messed the schedule up some good.
Thank you.
Oh, so I didn't mention that. No, what, Casey, what's happening? Why is it messed? This is your job.
Because she goes to, she does, math
Right.
but there's no math class.
It says because her math class ends at 4, it has to be twice a week.
Yeah.
And then we don't have it.
Oh, I haven't started. Because
No, that's not.
No, because her math class.
I haven't started.
So I should just start here.
Yes,
Then we'll
thank you.
other
So you're in my team. You're awesome.
To solve all our problems.
Just Tuesday.
Okay.
So just we change once because we've got other things in here.
That would help. Like, if you want to go to every band practice, like.
This is really good.
It
All
is
the
really
thinking
good.
going on in here.
But you don't have to go to every single practice.
Adjusting, yeah.
No,
Yeah, allows you to prep for make contact.
And then what resources?
So I
What are we doing this until?
Lindsay said she was gonna give them a couple of more minutes,
Okay.
kind of wrap it up. Can't wait to hear the results.
No, me too.
It's been too much. I took a medical day on Monday and now I don't get everything. But I had to.
Okay.
She needs that. But maybe Walter could do this hours. You know, and say it to the child.
I thought it was bad. My mother-in-law just walks into my house, comes into my bedroom.
From 12 to 5, it is her time. On Saturday.
Yeah, it's very possible resources.
You gotta get that. In your business. Find a time. I gotta move away. She can do that right now.
And then try to, I give them a little longer. Yeah. Yeah, I was
My son, the more you say, he's like to do that.
We're gonna wrap it up, so finish the conversations you're having, get those last minute things jotted down. And then I'm gonna ask for each group for, if you can have one spokesperson or you can share the responsibility. Each group to give a brief outline of their student, their case study, and what their challenges are that they're facing, and how you and your group decided to help this student, what you thought they should do to help themselves. Okay. Does anyone want to start with the reporting out? Or do you want me to give you one more minute? One more.
Yeah,
one more minute. I'm timing you. One more minute. And you're part of it.
I love it now.
Yeah, it's so good. That looks comfort too. It's a really good comfort. It's a little bit.
Oh, I'm talking about Friday. Okay. Friday what? She has homework. Maybe she could be a group.
Yeah.
So it's dangerous when they say like small markers get melted and she actually sells.
Never liked them.
This is a craft fair at the church.
Especially if you have technology.
You kind of like eat it.
It's not that fun. It's blackboarding
All,
on
did please tell me that all of the scenarios that apply to Cleo services?
There were a few I didn't say that
I'm
in.
not trying to keep
Okay.
So when that was on the right track.
Time's up. Cowbell.
Ding, ding, ding!
Alright. Does any group want to be the first? Or am I gonna think about it?
I got it.
Casey's gonna present for her group. Alright.
Are you sure you don't want to?
No, you're good.
Okay, so how do I present it?
Tell us about your student. Tell us about your case
Okay,
study.
so
What are her
our Jean is 36 years old. She has 3 children that are 10, 8, and 6. She does have a husband, but he just works and isn't around much for now. And she is taking a full class load. She is also studying for the PAX. PAX, yeah. And her car broke down. She got in a car accident. Her car broke down. Her mom just broke her hip, has to have surgery, and her mom was the one helping her with the kids prior. So she was stuck in a big bind. So she started doing counseling at counseling services to get help to balance and prioritize because she was really feeling overwhelmed with her role as a college student. She had done a lot of volunteering and attending all of her kids' like practices and stuff like that, and games, volunteered a lot, and that was something important to her, but she had to, but not as important. So we kind of made it so that she still had time for self-care with her gym and her family priorities, but that so she, so we made the husband step up. He stepped up and started helping her. Or he took the kids on Saturday so that she could do her homework. And since her car was, the neighbor started babysitting since the mom couldn't. The neighbor really is supportive of her. And so she had always carpooled all the kids to all their practices, dance recitals, all that. So it was she asked another mom to do it for a while since she always does it. She did keep some of the volunteer stuff, but had to get rid of some. Oh, she still did some carpooling. One day. And she did one day of still like going to the kids' practices and stuff. Obviously she'd go to like a recital or a game, but not every practice. Just kind of having to prioritize that. And she still met with Landy for her review. And, did I miss anything? She still had movie night with the kids and Walter. So she still kind of fit in her family ties, but just prioritizing when she had time to do homework instead of going to watch the kids practice at band or dance. So, and she started getting her kids to eat dinner before 8 o'clock. That kind of is an issue. So yeah, that's my help.
Awesome.
I know.
So what did you find were some of the biggest challenges for you guys helping this student to figure stuff out?
Not knowing
everything. Yep, just like that student doesn't know.
Yeah, and getting that husband to step up, that took a little bit of effort there, but he finally.
So you sounds like you did a lot of reprioritizing for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And getting help prioritizing too, not just trying to do it all on her own.
Can anyone relate to that particular case study where you've got a million things on your schedule, you're overscheduled and you want to do everything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So prioritizing is huge for people, I'm going to say like us because I'm with you guys, highly scheduled. but prioritizing, but also making sure there's room in my schedule for flexibility. So when those, remember last week we talked about that box number 1, urgent and important, so that when those things do come flying at you, you've got some flex time in there. You've got an area where you actually don't have something scheduled for an entire hour. Okay, I can use that hour to deal with this crisis that has just come up. So it's really important to make sure you leave yourself some open time for when life inevitably happens. For sure.
What I heard too from this group was needing to communicate with some of the people in this student's life.
Yeah.
So the husband,
the neighbor,
other parents that she's been helping out with transportation.
And what I saw in this group too was they didn't take the self-care route. A lot of people would think to take self-care route, and they left her self-care. So I thought that was really important.
And family time, you know, like
absolutely.
I know that has been like an issue with me, like you know, like the family time, like decreasing, and like having to like that's my number 1 priority, you know. So like, just making sure I don't push that to the side, but like incorporate it.
I think most students who are parents coming to school for the first time feel that pull. You know, I still want to spend all this quality time with my family, and how am I going to make that happen? Yeah, for sure. Do you guys have any other comments you want to make about your?
Everybody worked really good, finding support.
And I just want, as far as that group, did a fabulous job. I think in looking at that particular case study, you get so locked into I have to do everything. You literally, I mean, you're blinders to the neighbor. You're blinders to other options, and you get so locked into I have to drive to every practice. I have to drive to.
And that
I think you did a cool job pulling
that
that neighbor.
neighbor was an isolated neighbor, lived by herself, and she absolutely, it was good for her too.
I love it. Joan's gonna write her book.
Community transformation.
Absolutely. Thinking like with you prioritizing your kids, but like really you don't have to go and watch them like practice. Like who would really want to sit at like an 8-year-old band practice and like you need headphones, you know? Like, so like that.
Get your headphones.
Like some earbuds.
I'm here.
You know, like I see like concerts or the dance recitals, stuff like that, basketball games, but not like thinking that you're a bad parent if you can't go to every single practice.
No, you're helping the child too, because they're more independent, not so reliable on you, so it's a win-win.
That's an inner script for a lot of moms and dads, I think, is if I don't do all of these things, then I must not be a good parent. So also kind of letting go of that guilt. For sure. Does anyone else have any comments on this table case study? Okay, who wants to go next? Thank you. You guys are awesome.
What?
Don't make eye contact.
I'm gonna go with that group. We'll in the back corner. We'll go with you. Who wants to tell us about your case study?
I'll start.
Okay.
I'll let somebody else do the schedule.
Okay.
We had Henry, and he's got a learning disability. So Henry going to KVCC was lucky because he met somebody in the hallway that thought that he had to go to the floor. And he told him what was going on about his learning in high school, and he had extra help. And he didn't have that in college. So this friend led Henry to Trio, where they know they are welcome and easy to deal with, or the pleasant, you know, to talk to about his disability. And then he'd get advice from there. But we also followed, also in the seniors, he doesn't have a ride. He lost his ride to school, and he doesn't have a car himself.
How old is Henry?
How old is Henry? He got 18, yeah, so and his parents don't have means to bring him to school, so we went to his welding instructor, and lo and behold, he's in welding. Lo and behold, there's another gentleman named John in the class who lives just beyond. Henry lives in Clinton, and there's a guy that lives just on the other side of Clinton, and he's in the same class.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Yeah. So now we got him around.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to talk about what suggestions on the schedule?
On his schedule that he had already
Half the time
He's in welding. That's how I'll say it.
Yeah.
he even put Netflix time, but like a bunch of question marks and everything else. So, yeah.
So we kind of reprioritized. He had like big chunks of homework time, like hours worth on one day, and then the other day was like
Half an hour.
yeah. So we broke up his homework time into half an hour, a couple times a day, you know, either before class or after class. We also scheduled in some tutoring time and cut back his Netflix time. We put in time to email for the disability services so we could get the help that he needed.
We also played a little bit of a psychological game because we know at 18 years old, or even at 55, you don't like to be told how to do something. So we gave Henry an example of Darren last semester who was having trouble, and then all of a sudden he started studying. He made his study like a half hour before class and a half hour afterwards, and how successful that made him. We just gave that example. Then we waited for Henry to kind of repeat what we said. And we thought, oh, that's a great idea. We made it his idea to want to do it.
As I recall, Henry's got another issue that I haven't heard any of you talk about.
Finances.
Well, he's got finance issues, but more importantly, the last, isn't he the one who's got he broke his phone?
Oh.
And everything's on his phone?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where we got the trio and tutor stuff. So I'm pretty sure he stands up and like says that he needs some help to get photocopies and paper copies of the work. That's totally feasible. That's where the tutor and trio and whatever programs he helps. Also, trio helps him with some of the financial part aspect. And yeah.
Better schedule on paper so that he would have the background.
If it doesn't break, it's fine.
If it doesn't, yes.
So what did you find were the challenging? What did you find most challenging in helping Henry?
He had no time to eat.
No time to eat.
Yeah. Alright, like he was like all of it was back to back, and welding would took up like 3 to 4 hours of his day. And then he would have hours and hours of homework right after. He wouldn't have a transition.
Right.
So that's what I mean, like trying to get you guys' attention.
He was also dealing with his disability. Sometimes, especially if he needed help in high school, and he hasn't asked for that already in college, shows that he really doesn't want to put that out there, so he has to have somebody that he feels comfortable and trusts to get that information and lead him in the right direction.
Hence the trio love.
How does trio help with financially? You guys pay bills?
I
got some.
That is the one thing we're not.
Oh, no, that's not.
Well, I just heard him say financially.
I feel like you guys
Sometimes we can look at direction.
I just did it now.
Does anyone else want to comment on our second group's
Was the guy that he met in the hallways named Tony? Because that would be my guess. Yes.
Awesome job.
Very good.
That was a great job.
One thing that's interesting with that group, they're talking about things like trust. and relationships with people, in addition to how they were gonna realign schedules, but, you know, finding that trust and connection, so that you can kind of take some of those leaps of faith or leaps of understanding. I thought that was really interesting. Even the way they would psychologically approach adopting some of these new things. You know, I thought that was interesting.
Hey, that's how you did it in the Marine Corps. You want to be stationed somewhere, you don't tell the guy that's making those decisions, the controller in Washington, you don't tell him that this is what you need, this is what I need. I told him this is what would help the Marine Corps. You always get your way, not always, but 99% of the way you get your way. You've got to tell somebody else what's in it for them to make that decision.
Great advice.
We're working on a problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very wise.
Do one of these groups want to volunteer?
No,
Annette. Annette, tell us about your case study.
Poor Amy, she is an 18-year-old young woman. She just completed high school and just started at KVCC in the mental health program. She's involved in the early college domain program, which helps the students transition to college to complete their first degree. She has a lot going on. She moved, her parents live in Rumford, she moved to Fayetteville to be closer to the school. She works 2 jobs, one in a convenience store, and she also works at a study job here at KVCC to pay the rent and to support herself. She receives financial aid, so she gets help with that. She's taken out the maximum of student loans to help pay for her iPad, which is required for the mental health program. She's like, we gotta and you know, to also help with things like gas for her car, her cell phone plan, her internet access. She's enrolled full-time and has a full-time course load, taken 2 live classes and 2 online classes. Well, she's starting to feel pretty overwhelmed after her first week of school. She's having trouble with her iPad. Nothing is loading, like all the important apps that she needs for her program aren't loading. Her first assignment is due on Monday. She needs an access code that she purchased for web design for her math homework, which for all of her math homework is done. It does not work. She keeps getting error messages when she tries to use it.
Electricity went out.
Yeah, she has a lot of homework stuff that she needs to be done, which is the IT stuff, technical knowledge stuff, which is very frustrating when you can't get that stuff to work. She gets home late one night and flips on the switch and nothing comes on. Her light bill is obviously overdue because one of her roommates was supposed to pay the bill and took off with the money. So she doesn't have any electricity, she doesn't have money to, pay her bills, she's stuck. She obviously needs to find another roommate, but that doesn't happen overnight. She's got a lot going on. I was like,
insert sigh here.
I know how I feel as far as the technology part, because when I can't get things to work, my first was like, what do we do?
But her time management isn't very good for her schedule. She's working all day Wednesday and she's not doing any homework. We just suggested maybe
You can cut back on her time, which doesn't sound like she can, but yet maybe take and revamp her schedule, work schedule to kind of make it open during the week when she can come to school to get IT help.
She doesn't have any tutoring with Landy. So we put that in a couple of times a week according to Landy's schedule. And she's taking motorcycle lessons, which she doesn't need to be doing right now. So we totally X those.
Prioritizing.
Cheaper gas.
Well, prioritizing what's more important.
She can't drive a motorcycle all through the winter with the winters we have.
But she doesn't have money to gas, but she's.
I think the motorcycle lessons need to go.
They definitely prioritizing motorcycle lessons would be fun, but it's not something that's a priority.
And that means extra money, because the money she's spending on the
On that
motorcycle
could go
lesson.
towards the gas.
Plus she needs to talk to IT about
Absolutely.
getting her iPad fixed. Work on it, maybe even ask for a loaner, I don't know if they do loaners, but maybe they can give her one used while she's getting that one fixed. Maybe. See, I can't read my writing.
Cut motorcycle lessons out until she can financially do it.
You know, and find a new room,
Yeah.
but she's going.
But I would definitely touch base. I mean, I would suggest to her to touch base with IT, most definitely, because obviously she's got a lot going on. She has a lot of her classes that are online. It's not gonna do her any good if she can't get online to do it, so.
And she's not doing much homework, so she
Yeah.
really needs to schedule some time for homework. Saturdays just all work.
What did she do about the electricity?
Maybe we
I would call
suggest-
it the power company
Yeah,
and say,
but
can I make
she can make
arrangements,
payments on it.
which would be unfortunate for her that she'd have to do that because her roomie kind of screwed her with that. Yeah, but they would definitely work with her instead of her feeling like she has to come up with all that money, then they would, they do something else, absolutely.
What do we miss?
Can't think of anything that you missed. Was there anything, were any parts of it more challenging than others? What was the hardest thing for you to figure out?
Her working so much.
Yeah.
She just really.
Some people have to.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Sure.
You
Yep.
know,
And she can't really ask her parents for help.
because they're kind of in a financial bind themselves because they're, you know, her mom's working 2 jobs and her father is out of work due to an injury. So she can't live with her parents, they can't help each other
Well, they
because
live
she
in
wants,
Rumford.
right,
Yep,
they live,
far away.
and she, so she's like, doing what is best for her, but yeah,
Does she have any kids?
she's 18, hopefully.
No, no kiddos mentioned.
Kiddos mentioned like this.
Why doesn't she just move on campus and then work part-time?
Because we don't have a dorm.
It's
It's in the works, it's being talked about, but right now we don't have a dorm, so.
That's not an option.
Not an option.
I think that'd be a great option. With all the traveling that I've seen everybody does.
I mean,
I
just,
don't disagree.
because I don't know, I've never, is with that option for young students to live on campus, is that cheaper and affordable for them versus?
More
I don't
about-
know. I've never
Yeah.
had that, so I'm not sure.
The financial aid pays for it usually.
That's the majority of
So they just have
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
financial aid.
you gotta pay that, you gotta answer that.
Fine, even students that
Yeah,
are full
yeah.
Pell eligible,
What, a whole
all right? A full allotment of
Money is
Pell
like, okay.
per year, per academic year, currently is $5,920. That amount, you need to be able to pay for your tuition fees, books, all right? So we're a very affordable college, but that would not cover living expenses on top.
You have to take it out of
And
the
then
loan.
some people try to live off those loans, correct?
Now, one of the things that, when Landy was talking with the first group, I think first or second group, and brought up Trio helping with finance, you know, bills and stuff. Technically, we don't, help students pay their bills, but I am the financial aid guru, and I wear that title with pride. Getting the financial aid application, which is a free application, completed before May 1st for the next academic year, if you're full Pell eligible, in addition to that $5,920, you would also be eligible for an additional $1,500. So paying attention, getting yourself organized, making sure that you don't miss those deadlines does add up. So technically, we don't help pay the bills, but we do help you find money that you don't have to pay back.
Right.
The other cool thing too is that when we get to know you, when there are like unkept subgroups, like the thing that happened on Friday, the wait staff thing,
That was awesome.
or other jobs that do come up, where like we pay attention and we're like, oh, you should go apply for that, because it's like the welding lab, you're in welding, go do it, like that kind of thing. So it's nice that we're able to help with that kind of stuff too. Yep. When we
Helping you get connected with other
Yeah.
opportunities
Right.
and other resources.
And I was thinking that when we were reading this and talking about it, financial aid is wonderful if you have that option. But it seems like she's maxed out. I was like, oh, maybe she can go to the financial aid office and talk to somebody. I would suggest that, but yeah, I don't know if that option's still available. But yeah, they might be able to open up the door or something,
Yeah.
It doesn't
Where
hurt
I
to
don't
ask.
know, she could go there
Sometimes
and be
there
like,
are
yes, we can help you with
scholarships.
this. So, there's people to talk to, it's just not the way to go.
Sometimes the answer might be no, but it
You don't know.
just costs you time to be able to at least ask.
She doesn't have a lot of time, she's got a lot more. She needs to cut out.
So it's motorcycle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
Well, even if the answer is no, you can always take less courses now with the money. I mean, you don't have to have your degree in 2 years. So you don't just stop, you do what you can do.
Yeah.
And keep going until you can do it.
You figure
I
out
mean,
a
use
way.
all the means you can in the meantime, but if the answer is no, then take less courses until
That's.
you're still building up.
And she can always come here and do her homework if she doesn't have, we schedule that time if she doesn't, until she gets her electricity back for her Wi-Fi. She just scheduled time to be here and like use the common labs and stuff to do homework.
Absolutely. I mean, could one option be, for me, it would be like, I'm just moving back home, that I'm not gonna work any longer. I am going to spend the time that I would be working in the travel. And then,
Well, her parents live in Rumford, and she's going to school.
yeah, that would be 20 more minutes than what I'm doing, so
Right.
it's doable, it's doable,
And Joe might be willing to.
Absolutely,
Right, Joe's coming up.
Absolutely. I think, I don't know how people are doing it as far as working full-time and going to school full-time or working part-time and doing it. So, I would think if she could give up working and stay at home, then she wouldn't have to worry about the electricity and all
Well,
that
yeah,
other
we
stuff.
said to lower her work, she's working a lot.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
because she took out the night, she's got a lot of payments going out, so she's.
So she just works some, okay, cut back on it, good idea, yep.
Some people can't do that.
Exactly. So then Tony's thing, that you don't really need to take all the classes right now, is a good thing to keep in mind.
No.
All right, and back to, we had Gladys, who's a 25-year-old single mom, she's got 2 kids. She works 2 jobs, about 50 hours a week. She uses her father's car, it's not hers, they're really supportive, her parents. She doesn't seem like she has a lot of confidence because she ended up giving birth to her first child as a senior in high school and didn't graduate. So she went back to get her GED, and they convinced her to go to KVCC. Her 4 and 7-year-olds are in daycare, and she gets Educare, which I don't even know what that is. So that her kids are gonna I don't know. It's kind of a wraparound daycare. So they're there until 5. She's taking 4 classes though. She's taking math, English, psych, and geo. The 2 of them are online classes, and one of her employers is really good about working around her schedule, and then the other one is not great about working around her schedule, particularly her online classes. So sure enough, 1 month into the semester, her second employer cuts one of her shifts. She loses 8 hours of income. Her kids are sent home from school with chicken pox. And honestly,
So it's on your financial circumstances. If you want to be eligible to take loan money out, not the grant money, but the loan money, you need a minimum of 2 classes, 6 credits, in order to be able to access loan money. So a lot of students get confused about this. They think that in order for them to receive financial aid, they need to be full-time. Some students want or need the loan money to be able to make ends meet and make it all work. So there's no shame in or harm in accessing loan money, but you want to borrow wisely, right? And I think these examples here, I think a number of you are like, wow, how can anyone work 55 hours, take care of their responsibilities as parents, plus add a full load?
Well, we were thinking that maybe she should drop at least one of the online classes. I was thinking maybe even two and stick with just the 2 live classes, since one of her employers seems to be more flexible with that, but at the same time, I'm not even like, I definitely drop at least one. I'm not sure about the 2, because one of the online, the 2 live classes, like math 25, I think, is remedial, so she probably needs to take that, because she's not gonna be able to move on with math until she gets that out of the way. We come up with, she definitely needs to go to the counseling services center, because I think that they're, like, some of the services maybe she needs are things that they might know that we don't know, because you would think, if you're a single mom and you've got 2 kids and you're 25 and you're trying to make it, 50 hours a week like this, there would be something to help her maybe take that burden off a little bit. I don't know what those would be though. And it doesn't say about her parents. I don't know if her parents would be willing to step up with childcare, because
How old is she?
she's 25. Because one of her days, like, she's cutting it really close by the time she gets out of work, and like if she had parents maybe could help out with the kids. I mean, I'm just,
It says nothing about the father of the children,
yeah.
as whether he's in the picture or not. So we can't go off, well, we'll have him watch kids, because we don't know if he's in or not.
But you can certainly be creative with that if you want. There's some stuff that I purposely left kind of vague. So it's
If
to
he's
give
able
you
to
room to
help
come up
them,
with those types
we
of
put it.
solutions. So one solution could be get the father, whether he's in the picture or not, get him to.
If we could elaborate, then I just tell her, quit one of your jobs, move back home with mom and dad. Then you don't have to worry about daycare. They're really supportive of quitting to this. They want to help. And it doesn't say how far away she is from school, but if we're gonna fudge it a little bit, I'd say she's living close to school so she can use the school's internet. She wouldn't have to go to Dunkin' Donuts. But if she's living far away, which we don't know, well, then again, if she's living with her parents, she could afford internet.
And they might have it already.
Exactly. Exactly.
She had no access to his car. She needed to use it for kids. She wouldn't do it.
What I love about this is we're cultivating trio advisors. So you now are like, honestly, these are the kinds of skills and things. There are jobs as far as academic counseling and coaching. With these kinds of skills, you're awesome.
And these scenarios, I know you read them and go, oh my word. We have all worked with students that have had, a shitstorm come down on them early on. And we, then we circle our wagons and pull in our resources the best we can to help them to continue to be successful with all of these horrible things happening. So really making sure that you have some flexible time in your schedule to deal with those things that happen to all of us that really throw you off your game and throw you right into that emergency box, and you feel like you're living there. Everything's urgent and important and needs to be done right now. So.
And also some of that, I meet a lot of students that worked really, really hard to get here, to get to KVCC. And then they're like, I can rest now, I'm here. And it's like, no, the rest doesn't happen yet. So, and sometimes this expectation that I think culturally we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. All right, I'm going to college, I'm going to complete a 2-year degree. It needs to be completed in 2 years' time. And yes, the admissions folks, they're lovely people. They're selling you a product, okay? You need to dig in and ask some questions about For me, it doesn't make sense for me to try and complete this in 2 years' time. I want to receive that outcome of the degree, but the experience that I want to have, I want to be able to really learn the material and own it. And in order for me to do that, I may need to take 2 classes a semester so that I can attend to the kiddos and whatnot. And these are questions that I want to encourage you to be asking yourself and asking us for advice on. Because this is the beauty of coming to college. It's not like high school, where it's kind of, this is the directive, you need to have a, the government class and 2 of this and 3 of that, and you get your high school diploma. You get to figure this out and create a plan that makes sense for you. And yes, some of the programs are very specific. You need to take certain ones a particular semester, and this is where our years of experience come into play for you. We are a resource to help you figure this out. And sometimes you bite off more than you can chew the first semester. And what I really, really the message I want to say to you is, if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're not quite sure this is all going to work out well for you, talk to us so that we can help you figure out a game plan that's going to work for you. Not your classmate, but you. That's what we do best, I think, is kind of stepping back and taking a look at, like what Flavia was saying earlier when she was talking about figuring out how you learn best. What strategies and what happens over time, because this is the magic of Trio, is we have the benefit of being with you on this journey. And it's a real fun ride. There's these low points that, we kind of pull you along, but in the long run, over time, there's real transformation that happens. And I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
We're already seeing
you belong here. You worked hard to get here. Let's roll up our sleeves and help you make it work for yourselves.
I just want to say I want to thank the Trio group for that, for me, because I was going to drop it. I was truly going to drop it. And I know it will be on the back of my mind forever until I have to take it. So I am thankful for the resources. I'm thankful that I stuck it out because it's not as bad as I thought. And there are resources when I do run into the hard stuff. And I'm going to be done with it. And I don't have to do it. So I'm thankful that you guys kind of pushed me in that direction.
Yeah,
Thank
broccoli
you.
first.
Exactly.
Thank you all. You guys did a great job with this activity.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased to do the introduction of the communication. Really 5 minutes.
That's
Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, I'll get it handed out if you want to start.
And then- So we're going to be passing now. We're going to talk about, let's communicate.
Oh, you got that?
Amanda, is it in the?
What are you looking for?
To pull it up.
It's in the shared folder, it's not in the Google Drive, I'm sorry, I didn't get it over here.
Wow. I'm going to go right off of this, if you can, because I don't want to waste.
Sure.
So we're going to go through, let's talk communication now, because a lot of what we're talking about, this group over here, communicating with your neighbor to take care of your children, communicating with each other, or you meet with Michelle or Andy or Lisa, how does that, we want to give you some tools to look at. We're going to dissect. This is one look, one lens of looking at how we communicate and how we communicate effectively. Our need to be able to hear other people's needs and move forward or move in a direction that's healthy. And that's going to work for our lives. So I'm going to go top down, and then if we have time, we'll give you some examples. And then your homework this week is going to be go home and look at how you communicate with a family member or a friend through this lens, through this model. So we're going to lay the model out. Landy and I are going to do some, well, we won't tell you. But be ready, be ready. There may be accents involved, I don't know. So we're going to go down this model. So effective communication model, this is, once again, this is one lens. This is one way to look at it. It includes a sender and a receiver. So if Annette and I are talking, and I'm talking to Annette, I'm the sender, I'm going to send a message. Look through the fence. The receiver hears and responds. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, is there, and we're going to talk about the ways, what gets in the way of that. So sender lobs it over, receiver hears and responds. Send, once again, this is for effective communication. So I'm going to say, I'm going to go to Annette, she's going to hear and respond. I'm going to clarify. I'm going to be like, so Annette, I heard you say this back to me. Is that what you're thinking from your response? And then that's sort of giving me some nonverbals. She's like, that's right, that's right. So once again, we broke it down. We made it simple. We boiled it down to these 4 pieces. And gosh, if it was always this easy, right? If it was always that easy. All right, I'm gonna talk to Joan here. I'm gonna send her a message. She's gonna hear and confirm. Then I'm gonna clarify, and then she's gonna confirm. So I mean, gosh, but all kinds of things get in the way. All kinds of things get in the way, or make it challenging, or make it complex. So model is used in some manner by many people in communication, as we're talking about, and I walked down the steps. But sender sends a message to the receiver, and once again, many problems can get in the way of that. It could be, Joan could be having a wonderful day, and I could be having a bad day, and I'm coming right at Joan with, preheated, fueled with either fear or anger, and it's coming out in the way I'm sending the message. And vice versa. So Joan could be at that second piece, hear and respond. As she hears and responds, I could be thinking about something that happened in a meeting earlier, and I'm there. I'm not hearing at all. And maybe my response is no response at all. So Joan's looking for that confirmation. There's no clarification, and there's no confirmation that I heard. So we work through these steps. The message is sent, the person hears and responds, clarifies, and then the person confirms that. That clarification is exactly what was said. And as Landy and I are going to give you an example of this model, we want you to use these 3 pieces, the 3 pieces of healthy communication. We want you to check that out, analyze our interaction through those 4 pieces. Are there any questions or comments or thoughts about this? And I know we're going fast.
We are. So this is, I have the excerpt that we're gonna act out for you.
Oh, there's 5 for that. Do you want me to get the rest? I need 1. There you go.
Okay, so this is an excerpt that I took. I'm a big Jane Austen fan. So this is an excerpt from Pride and Prejudice between Mr. and Mrs. Bennet, who are the parents of the female lead character.
Yes.
In this story.
Which one are you, Landy?
I'll be traditional, and I'll be Mrs. Bennet. How's
Okay.
that? So I can start it.
So be watching in this interaction for the sender and the receiver and those 4 pieces that we just chatted about.
So just to read the setup, she would not give him time to reply, but hurrying instantly to her husband, she called out as she entered the library, "Oh, Mr. Bennet, you are wanted immediately. We're all in an uproar. You must come and make Lizzie marry Mr. Collins, for she vows she will not have him. And if you do not make haste, he will change his mind and not have her."
I have not the pleasure of understanding you.
Different accent.
Yeah. So you talk about sender and receiver, right? Once you finish your speech, of what are you talking?
Of Mr. Collins and Lizzie. Lizzie declares she won't have Mr. Collins, and Mr. Collins begins to say he will not have Lizzie.
And what am I to do on the occasion? Seems an hopeless business.
Speak to Lizzie about it yourself. Tell her that you insist upon her marrying him.
Let her be called down. She shall hear my opinion. She shall.
She shall. Right. There we go. There's our acting skills in a nutshell.
Nice work, Landy. Nice work.
Thank you.
So can we take, and once again, we are past our time. It's 11:01.
Yes, it is.
And we may do a second act, you never know, later. But if you do have to go, I'd like to take 10 minutes or so to dissect this a little bit so you feel equipped to do your homework. Because your homework this week is to evaluate a communication exchange between you and a family member, a friend. It could be someone on the phone, somebody calls you, but you evaluate the way you, a sender and a receiver, exchange what you have. So I want to take this a little bit and dissect this piece. But if you have to go, we're not going to lock you in.
Like me, I have to go.
And Landy has to go. This will be recorded as well, so Landy can watch it again. So you see her acting here. Anyone else have to go now? And forever hold your peace. All right, hold the half mark. All right, Colin. We will record this. Thank you. Happy Friday. Mitchell, you're rolling too?
Yeah,
all right, the rest of us, we're good. Beautiful. So what we'll do is we'll just go through and dissect this from this effective communication model. Who is the sender in this particular experiment?
Mrs. Bennett?
Mrs. Bennett, absolutely. And how does she send the message? How should you say she's bossy?
High strung.
How so? What are some of the things high strung? What are some of the things?
Start screaming it out.
Right. So think about yourself when someone enters a situation, they're all over the place. How does that affect you as the receiver? So who's the receiver in this situation?
Mr. Collins.
Mr. Collins. The guy from Tennessee. Tennessee, Mr. Collins. Absolutely. How does he hear and respond to what she has to say?
He don't even understand that the first time.
He's verbally responding, but he's probably not mentally responding to her.
He's kind of like dismissing it, like, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of it later. I'll talk to her, everything will be fine, calm down.
Do you think his response validates or is engaging with what she's coming to? Does it seem?
No, not at all.
Just trying to assuage her.
Just, okay. So here's her response. Does she clarify? Based on his response?
He says, what are you talking about? And she says, oh, Mr. Collins and Lizzie. So that was that exchange. And then he asked her, what do you want me to do? It seems silly.
Mm-hmm.
And then she tells him what she wants him to do. And he says, okay, I'll do it whenever.
That'll be called down. She shall hear my opinion. Right, so there was some clarification going on, but it seemed to kind of come with judgment or this like annoyed. And think about yourself when you're communicating with someone and maybe you are clarifying and it's met with like, not the anti-eye roll, that's not the way. Or it's met with, even, maybe they're not even making that contact. Some of those non-verbal things. So here it is, she's coming to him with the situation, obviously upset. And he's kind of maybe mildly dismissive, kind of, oh, everything's fine. In no way is her concern validated.
He didn't even repeat back to her either to make sure he really understood what she was saying as well.
Continue to challenge you in terms of the way, look at the ways you communicate and the ways you communicate with your instructors, etc. But wanted to give you a template to look at these things. We're going to talk deeper into the things that promote communication, promote someone to clarify and respond, and the things that shut it down. So this is an example, one example. Like, if you are dismissive, if you're not making eye contact, if literally you turn your back, I've had someone, literally turn their back to me, or like they're checking out their nail, something got in there as you're trying to, or there's no clarification, there's no validation of what you're coming to with that communication.
And you gotta be aware of culture too, because some people, the silence is a good thing. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about that yesterday in my communication stuff. In the Japanese culture, as a business person, you're supposed to take their business, when they hand you their business card, you're supposed to take it and actually look at it front and back and say something nice. And that's part of the beginning connection that you make with that person. And then, also the silence. Here in America, we have to fill in the gaps when there's silence. I know I do. It's weird, it's awkward, I don't know what you're thinking. Over there, though, it's that they show, that's a sign of respect, really, that they're actually listening to you, and then they're not thinking about, what they're going to say to you next and respond to you next. They just listen. So that was...
Yeah, and I think that I love the quote, listening to understand. as opposed to listening to reply. Like if somebody's talking to me and I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna say this and this and this and this and this. I'm not really listening to hear what that person's saying. And once again, we want to include this in a class like this because you're communicating all the time. And you're communicating to meet the needs that you have, whether it's academic needs, whether it's personal needs, whether it's needs of, I have a situation at home, my car broke down, and, how do you make those kinds of communications? And we want to give you some tools to how to get the most out of the times that you communicate, whether it's with each other or family members, and make it effective. So here's the template, and I know it is fairly quick. We have the, you can go to the videotape if you want to review. But between now and next class, and it's on Blackboard, you'll see the assignment. We want you to look at one communication experience. And like I said, with your family member, I don't know about with your dog, that would be interesting. You could analyze it that way. A dog would respond as well, but with a human, person to person. Once again, it could be with someone who you called because your access code didn't work, someone in the bookstore. But we wanted you to analyze it through the lens of sender, receiver, sender sends the message, receiver hears and responds, sender clarifies, receiver confirms. And if you have questions throughout the week, feel free to clarify with us. And analyze the situation. Does this happen in this situation? Does it not? Where does it break down? Where is it reinforced? What if it does work, what are the things that made it work, that made it
One quick last thing, Michelle reminded me as she was leaving. So we have some people that were new last week and this week, so welcome everyone. If you want to opt into taking the class for credit, let one of us know so we can officially add you for late start. I think this will be, this next week will be the last week that we have anyone new, and then it's going to be the class for the rest of the semester. But we do want to give late start students who are starting classes on Monday the option to join too. So if you are brand new in the class as of last week or this weekend, you want to continue for credit, make sure you let us know so we'll add you to the roster. Anyone can come and sit in and just not get credit for it and not be obliged to do the homework and not intellectual grading. So you're totally welcome to do that too if you want to just come as you're able to. If you want to continue to do the class for credit, we need to know that.
Can I go to the examples just quickly over the homework to see completely where it's also on Blackboard as well. But effective communication analysis home edition. So we did the class edition here. But we want you to use the effective communication model which you have. Analyze the communication experience you have outside of class. So include the following in your response to this week's discussion. Identify the person who you choose to communicate with. We say to get the most effective and authentic experience. Advise not telling the person, all right, we are going to do the effective communication. I'm going to be analyzing it. Choose something related to so that's the first part. After the communication, describe the experience you had through the lens of these 4 steps. And you can lay it out. We had some students really go 1, 2, 3, 4 if you need kind of structure, or you can do a narrative about describing the experience as long as you're attending to each one of those pieces. If you found one of the steps was ineffective or non-existent, include that as well. The portion of the assignment is due Tuesday, as we know, this feedback. So we want you to do it, analyze that communication experience, and then post your response by Tuesday so we can have those. You can apply that class. So there, if you have questions after or throughout the week, let us know. And I want to snap to you all. You created some incredible solutions for this piece. Give yourself credit for knowing some of these resources and using them yourselves. Super. Happy Friday. Happy first day of fall.
Yes.
First day of fall.
Pumpkin everything.
Pumpkin. Pumpkin's my
Pumpkin everything. Yeah.
It is.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Thank you for coming.
Bye. Have a nice weekend. Bye. Bye. Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
didn't get it at all. Oh, and I cannot seem to wrap my head around this article that I'm supposed to be doing it for. I'm supposed to be doing
Is this with the sign-in paper? Is it?
The sign-in one, yes?
No, I already did it. Was this the pen that was with it?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if this one's not. Yeah, I think it's the one that went here.
Okay.
Which one do you think?
I know it was a black pen, but I just can't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Here, but I can stay until whatever.
So I have, let's see, I have pretty busy. Yeah. But I can almost take 2 minutes. I have to go and answer voicemails and then I'm actually meeting with Justin. So, yeah, I'm so excited. And then we're supposed to have staff meetings, but I think I'm going to do 30 minutes at one, and then again on Monday, we're going to do that. So like now, give you some stuff like with like a direction vehicle, and
Monday at 10, I just
So if I don't,
that'll work. Because the other thing that I have to do Monday and Saturday is 3 o'clock, 1
is there a way to do something?
all right, let's wait. Let me get your picture, but I'm also yeah, definitely.
Or maybe just turn in the homework and then watch this.
Yeah.
Like getting the information correctly.
Absolutely, I'm gonna stop this.
Okay.